Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Salakia for being a little late. We had a few technical difficulties, but we're back. ISUPK law class every Wednesday, 7 p.m. I think the water for everybody that's joining, the water for your patience. Can you anybody put a 1 in the chat if my sound is good? Put a 2 if you can't hear me. Baba Kishar. Share the class. Share that it's not for a whole week. We will not be on the YouTube, ICPK Florida YouTube. But we are streaming on ISUPK Florida on the Facebook, and we're also streaming on the ISUPK. We're streaming also on the ISUPK Orlando page. So the water for joining. Feel free to join us in the live stream if you want to. A reader would greatly be appreciated from any brothers that's out there. So the topic for today is says, which is basically a statement, we are the Israelites. Because in the last couple of weeks, especially on my side, I had to battle. I had a lot of battles in terms of explaining to people that, we are the Israelites. And even though I went all these battles, right, and through all these I wouldn't say battles, but let's for argument's sake say arguments where I bring the point across that we are the Israelites, yet you sit with an alternate identity and telling me that's giving you an identity that I am wrong, but you are sitting without an identity. And today, what I want to do is go through through those identifying markers in the Bible and go through all those things in the Bible that explains that we aren't just people have been thrown away. We aren't just people that has been forgotten. We aren't just niggas, spicks, wetbacks. We aren't just the people that are being deported, but we are Yasher Allah. That we are the chosen people of God. That we are the next new world order. That we are not just those people that can be done to whatever they are being done to today. In fact, we are those people, once we start obeying our God, then all these heathen nations gonna have to start obeying us. That's why we're gonna go through those identifying markers of who are the Israelites today. Because we are the Israelites. We aren't just some nameless, cultureless, vagabond people, but we do have a homeland. We do have a nation, and we are a people. Please like and share the class. The water. If anybody's on there in the if anybody's in the on the stream, feel free to join us. Feel free to come up and read. Let's get some of this work. I would like to start in the book of Baruch. I would like to open up a scripture with this. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. This is the book of the commandments of God, from the old to the new, that this is the book of the commandments of God. Everything in here is of the Most High. Every word, everything, every jot and tittle is inspired by the Most High God. And these words that are in here, they endure forever. That who you can sleep with and who you cannot sleep with endures forever. Having brotherhood endures forever. What you can eat and what you cannot eat endures forever. A lot of people nowadays say that a the Bible is outdated for the lifestyle we live today. But the book says this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. This law that we are supposed to follow in this book, that people think that might be outdated, is not outdated. The Most High in His infinite wisdom has made this law so perfect that it endures forever. So it doesn't matter where you are in your point in life. If you are following these commandments, Slakia, if you are following these commandments, that life would probably be so much better for us as a people. let's go ahead for endure forever. All they that shall keep it shall come to life. And that is the problem today. We have not come to life. As a people, we have not come to life because we have rejected these laws and these commandments of the Most High. We have not come to life. But if you hold on to this law and these commandments, that our nation shall come to life. All these things that they say about us, all these things, when I say they, I'm talking about the heathens, all these other nations, what they say and think about us would purely change in a moment of like an instant moment. Because if we hold on to this, onto these laws, statutes, and commandments, that nations would look upon us and say, "What a wise nation!" And understanding people that have a God so nigh, that have a law and a God so nigh unto them, they would we they would not respect us, but we would have to respect them, meaning that we have to look back at them and respect them if we keep this law. Because the Most High God said, "This law endure forever, and if you take hold of it, you'll come to life. But such as leave it shall die." And we have proof of that in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community, that we have left this law and we are a nation that is spiritually dead. And not just spiritually, but almost physically as well. Meaning that our the physical, meaning we don't have no power in this land. We have no say in this land. Our communities are all jacked up. People are mothers and children are on drugs. All these people that 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 say they have solutions for Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't have solutions for them. Because why? There is no solution for us because we are not holding on to these law, statutes, and commandments. Our leaders, our so-called leaders in the Black and Hispanic communities are not holding on to these laws and statutes and commandments, teaching the nation. And that's why we are dying physically and spiritually. Salakia, I did not make an announcement. I am priest and officer Yeshaya of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people. And with that, let's start the class. Any brothers out there that could read for us? So let's go to. I would like to go to the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8, because a lot of the conversations and sort of arguments that I had in the last couple of weeks was we don't have an identity, and a lot of people they looking for their identity in the wrong place. A lot of them wanted to, how can I say, a lot of them wanted to join the Africans in terms of like a pan African type of thing. They wanted to join themselves as a melting pot with the Africans. Also, what they wanted to do was also wanted what they're doing now is what you call it, ancestry.com. A lot of them look for their DNA in the ancestry, and it's coming up with so many many countries that is even causing more confusion. When the simple thing to do is just look at your history, look at your forefathers, look at the people that they are. But if you are not in the ISUPK, you are not gonna find out what your true identity is. I think also now is what Black History Month. And guess what? In the ISUPK, you're gonna find your true Black history. You're gonna find out the truth of who you really are, and there's not gonna be any confusion about it. But you're gonna find out that we are not just some culturalists or without an identity people, but that you if you come into this school that you're gonna find out that you're gonna find out the true Black history. You're gonna find out your true identity. You don't have to go onto ancestry.com to go and look for it, but you're gonna find it in here. I would like to go to the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search, to, to and prepare thyself to the search of thy fathers. We as a people should, which what is very important is go and search up your history. A lot of people, I spoke to quite a few people, and I asked them, "Do you know that we came here on cargo slave ships?" And this was here in Cape Town that I asked I'm gonna make an example. I asked a young lady, "Do you know that we came here on cargo slave ships? Do you know that our ancestors were slaves here? That we were sold here on the auction blocks, on the on we came here on cargo slaves." She did not know. She did not know because why? She did not. No one taught her to go and search for her fathers. No one taught her to go inquire from the former age. All they that shall leave it shall die. And that's just I cannot imagine. I can't imagine. But now that I am in the truth, now that I am in the UPK, it's I cannot imagine walking around not even knowing where I come from. Verse 9. For we are but of yesterday, meaning we came here just not long ago. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because we've been here a short time on this earth. Because our days upon the earth are a shadow, meaning we've not been here a long time. We don't understand a lot of things of what our history is, who we are. That's why we have to inquire of the former age. We have to go and seek our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have to go seek what Moses did. We have to go seek what Jacob did, what Joshua did, what Christ did, what the disciples did. We have to go seek from them what they did because we've been only here a short time. Verse 10. Shall not they teach thee? Will they not teach you? Looking up your history, searching for the truth, will they not teach you? And tell thee and utter words out of their heart? Will you not find the truth when you search for your history? Slack, just give me 1 second. Slack, I'm back. Will they not teach thee? So we have to, so we as a people, or we as individuals, as Black Hispanics and Native Indians, or individuals and as a people, we have to go search our history. We have to go. We have to go and find these things of our people to walk around not knowing that your ancestors came here on slave ships. It's almost impossible to for you to apply prophecy to your life. But well, let's go to the book of let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. We're gonna go to 28 and we're gonna run down those curses. And we're gonna eat some and we're gonna eat some great precepts. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. Right? And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all these commandments which I command you this day. So Moses is telling the Moses and the elders of Israel is telling the people, they're telling the civilians and the whole nation of Israel, man, woman, and child, keep these commandments, right? And they are speaking to all these people, saying that they should keep these commandments that they which they are telling them that day. So they're speaking to a certain to a certain people, and we're gonna find out in the Bible, what's happening to these people. Why should they keep these commandments? And if they leave and not keep these commandments and disobey the Most High, we're gonna find out what has happened to them and what is happening to them to find out if blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the Israelites. Verse Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God shall set thee on high above all nations. So if we read all these blessings, Slav, if if we read all these blessings, right, in this day and age, if we read these blessings, we won't be able to identify with these blessings. Because guess what? For 400 years, for 400 plus years, we have always been at the bottom. We have always been the children of servants and slaves. We have always been the the first to hire and first to fire. We have always been the crackhead on the corner. We have always been the one that is looked at as a criminal. We, for us to now identify with these blessings is going to be very difficult. But as we go on and research these scriptures, we're going to find out that if we keep these commandments, we're going to have all these blessings, all these things that we dreamed about of having a life for us. If we keep these commandments, that we're going to have all these blessings, that we're going to have rulership, that we're going to put the people that had us in slavery, that we're going to put them in slavery. But now I want to go to verse 15, the same chapter. But it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and statutes, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Salaki. So we're about to read all the curses that the Israelites, if they did not keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that all these curses are going to come upon them. And we're going to find out what these curses are, and we're going to apply it to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're going to apply it to the children of the slaves. And we're going to see, is this Benjamin Netanyahu, or is this the brother on the corner, the sister on the corner? Is this the brother at the border or the sister at the border? We're going to see who this applies to. Because what does the scripture say? The spirit, the spirit bear. Let me get that verse quickly. Uh, it's like here. I really want to get it quickly. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The spirit itself beareth witness with our Shlaki. The spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And when you go through these when we go through these curses, you're gonna find out that this is not talking about the people that's clearing up Gaza now. This is not the people that have the Iron Dome, that owns the banks, that owns Hollywood, that owns the Diamond District. But this is gonna, when you read these curses, it's gonna show you that this is talking about the man that's on the corner. It's going to show you it's talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So let's go through these curses and see what's happening to our people. And let's see if this is really us or if this is the people with the blue eyes and blonde hair. Let's go to verse 15. Slack, yeah, let me, verse 32. Okay, let's go. Verse 32. And this is also a very important verse for the sister because she couldn't understand that things like this could have happened to a people because she couldn't understand that we were the children of slaves, that our ancestors were enslaved, that we came here on slave ships. Even for us here in Cape Town, that we came here on onto uh, came onto Cape Town with slave ships. Verse 32, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And that is what happened to us. When we hit the shores of wherever the slave ships went, our children was auctioned off. Husbands separated from their wives. Families, children snatched off the breast and sold to a plantation and sold to a farm. And there was no might in our hands. That thing was so, the thing of the auction blocks and of uh, the selling of our ancestors was so big that they make movies about it. It was so much that they had to make movies about it. It wasn't a small thing. It was a big thing that our ancestors were sold, families separated. And even today, what do they do? Is it CPS, Child Protective Services? They will take your child and there will be no might in your hand. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be oppressed and cursed always. Is that not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Aren't we the aren't we the laborers in this in actually on this planet wherever we are? Aren't nations thriving because of us? We are building the greatest cities in the world, and guess what? You cannot live in them because they are so expensive. We work all the labor jobs. We work all these jobs that the people don't want to have. And guess what? We're not eating the benefits thereof. Our brothers are the Mexican brothers at the border, working for what? Cents on the dollar? Have to pick what? 45, 90 kilos just for what? $2 a day? And that is us. But since we ended up in the country wherever we were, ended up Jamaica, Central South America, United States, Canada, wherever we ended up, we've always been oppressed. Not at one time can you say that there was a time in life where blacks, Hispanics weren't oppressed. And you know why we are oppressed? Because our oppressor sees no wrongdoing for the things that he does to us. Let me quickly grab the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 7. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 7. All they that found them have devoured them. Every nation that has found us, that has taken us into captivity, that if we have joined ourselves unto, has devoured us, meaning they've always oppressed us. They've always gotten rich off of us. There was not at any point in time when we have joined ourselves or been subjected under any nation that it benefited us. They have always devoured us. And their shepherds caused them to go astray. Slakia, Slakia, devoured them. And their adversaries said, right? We offend not, meaning it's not our fault. You cannot blame us. We devour them and they say it's not our fault. You cannot blame us for what we are doing. You know why? Because the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, have sinned against their Salakia, sinned against the Lord. And that's why they don't even feel sorry for the oppression. It's very rare that you will find that the people that is oppressing you have remorse for the things they do to you. And in the Bible it says they say we offend not because we have sinned against our God. We That's almost like how can I say uh, 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 how can I put this? But how can I say it is they saying what they are actually saying it we offend not. It's your fault. It's your fault that we are treating you like this because guess what? You have left your God. Let's read on. Slakia, the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. We have left the habitation of justice, meaning if anybody has ever done anything unto us, we could seek the Lord, and the Lord will hand our enemies in front of us. He will destroy our enemies for us. And also Salakia, if I could, um, and the hope of our fathers. That is what we. That is what our oppressors say. That is what they say. It's not our fault. It is your fault because you left your God. And for that, we can oppress you. Because guess what? The Bible says, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, that all these curses shall come upon thee. And our oppressor is a sneaky and cunning oppressor. And he knows if we leave the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord thy God, that the Lord will give him the nation of Israel into his hands. But guess what? There is a way to get out of this. There is a way. If we come back to the Most High God, Christ paved the way for us to come back to the Most High God. And he has laid down the blueprint on how to come back to the Lord, our power. Verse 37 in the same chapter. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, which the Lord shall lead thee. And we have become a proverb. We have become a byword everywhere we have gone. Everywhere we have, everywhere we have landed, where the Lord has scattered us, we have become cultureless. We have become a people without an identity as a whole, as a people. We have become um, um, a proverb and a byword. Because what? We offend not, for they have left their God. Verse 42. All thy trees and thy fruit of thy land shall be Salakia. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume, and the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Meaning, if you look also at blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians neighborhoods today, that we live there, that we are the population of that area. But guess what? We own nothing in there. We don't even almost don't even own the house that we are living in. The businesses. It's our neighborhood. It's not even our neighborhood. We are the people living in that neighborhood, but we own nothing in that neighborhood. All the heathens own everything, and we pay them instead of them paying us to be in that neighborhood. The stranger that's within thee shall get very high, and thou shalt come very low. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. And Salakia, ye shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Meaning, as a people, you know how America, our oppressor, is lending out billions and billions of dollars to these countries. We cannot do that. And that's why we are at the bottom of the barrel in this country. Matter of fact, in any country we are, the Israelites are, they are always the marginalized, oppressed people. And we cannot lend to anybody, but yet they lend to us. Verse 46. and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. And even as it was back then in the times of physical slavery, guess what? The oh man, what's the English word for it? The effects of slavery and the effects of trauma and abuse and torture and all these things, psychological damage, all these things of slavery is, even though our ancestors that were enslaved are long gone and dead, guess what? The effects of those things happening to us is still embedded in our children and in us today as a nation. We have not escaped the trauma and those things that has happened to us back then. It is still happening to us now. Not escape the effects of of these curses from back in the day of slavery up until now. And it's on our children. And if we don't come back to the Most High, it will be on our children's children, children's children, that we shall be the tail in every place we are. And guess what? Our oppressor has brought us very, very low. Very, very low. He has brought us so low that he had to tell us there's only two genders. That's how low he has brought us. And he is the immoral man. The immoral man has brought you so low that he had to tell you there's only two genders. That's how low we've become. Verse 48. Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord thy God shall send against thee. And that's the problem with us. We don't think because of what our oppressor is doing to us that he's our enemy. We think that he is our friend. We think that he is our lover. We think that he is our God. And that's why we don't regard our oppressor as our enemy. We just say we've come a long way. They first said, last year they said, what? It's 2024. Now it's 2025. It will never stop. Our oppressor oppressing us is from the Lord. Because guess what? The Lord sent the enemies against us so that we should fear him, so that we should come back to him, so that we should keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. And when you come into the ISUPK, you are taught how to do that perfectly. But if you are out there and you are not in the school, all they that shall live it shall die. In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And that is what it is. Anything we want, or we desire, we ask of our oppressor. You need to eat, you need to drink, you need a house, you need a car, you need anything. You need to go to your oppressor and apply for a job in order for you to eat, in order for you to drink or sleep, and in want of all things. And guess what? We're also asking our oppressor, the man that is in that hands you injustice, that does things unrighteously to you. We are even asking him for justice, even though we know he himself is unjust in want of all things. But if we recognize that he is our enemy, things will change for the better for us. It's better to have enemies than friends when it comes to heathens. It's better to have enemies than friends when it comes to heathens. And the reason why we are in this condition is we have forsaken the law, statutes, and commandments. And number two is we have forsaken our brotherhood, a thing that is almost in that a thing that is non-existent in the world. But in the ISUPK, you will find brotherhood, and that includes sisters. You will find brotherhood. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And when we went into slavery, a yoke of iron was on our neck. When they caught us, a yoke of iron was on our neck. When we worked the sugarcane farm plantations, the cotton fields, the wine farms, when we worked it, there was a yoke of iron on our neck. And guess what? When they took it off and said, "You guys are free," that yoke of iron was still around our neck spiritually. And even today, the yoke of iron is still on our neck. And we are destroyed. By the time they had the what here in Cape Town we had the proclamation, what they call it, not the proclamation, yeah, the Proclamation of Emancipation in 1831. By the time they did, by the time of freeing the slaves, we did not have a culture. We already assimilated to the culture of the people of the land. We assimilated to the culture of our oppressor. We are stimulated to worshiping our oppressor's God instead of our God. By the time he took that physical yoke of iron off, we were already destroyed. We did not know who we are. That now we go and seek what? Ancestry.com. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that is us. The nation that they brought us came from the ends of the earth. They came from far. And as the eagle flieth, as that bold eagle flieth on that coat of arms, swiftly did they do what they did to us. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance And if you search through history, all the things they have done to us, only a nation of fierce continents could do the things that they have done to us. From the gay debate, from all these things they've done to us, from all the experiments they did on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all the torturing of in this enslavement, it could only be our oppressor. It could only be our oppressor, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And he didn't care if you are 84 or 5 years old. You're gonna work that farm. You're gonna work till your bones, till you drop dead. He did not. Our oppressor shows no mercy to the old, neither to the young. Just the other day, I saw a video of this cop having a 6-year-old in handcuffs, trying to throw, and he did throw the child in the back of the police cruiser. And I was like, what kind of man could do that? Only a fierce, only a person with a fierce countenance. Only a nation with a fierce countenance could do that. And you know why he does that? Because he says to himself, I offend not, because they have left the commandments of their God. That's why they can do whatever they want. But as soon as we come back to these law, statutes, and commandments, guess what? They that have oppressed you will be oppressed. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we are waiting for. But it's all up to you to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments, to come back and follow Christ. Same chapter, verse 64. Let me just see something. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end to the earth, even to the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even of wood and stone. And as we were scattered through the earth, through our various captivities, even with our last captivity through the slave ships, we were scattered everywhere. Your family might, half of your family might end up in Brazil, and you might end up in the east coast of America. And guess what? There we started worshiping their gods. Wood and stone. What is that wood and stone? The stone is Islam, and the wood is that wooden cross. And we pray to these gods to give us salvation, which is our oppressors' gods, but we pray to our oppressors' gods to give us salvation from them, from our oppressor. How can you pray to an oppressor's God to give you salvation? Let me quickly grab a precept. I want to quickly go to the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 16. Slovakia. 2018, 16. Yes. So I want to quickly give a backstory, right? There was a king, right? King Jotham. Jotham, he was a righteous, built up Israel considerably because of his righteousness. At that time, when he was a king of Israel, the nation flourished. That there was peace in our land. That people were prospering. But then he died, and his son took over. And his son did not follow in his father's footsteps, but his son worshipped false gods, other gods. And so what happened was the Lord sent enemies against them, just like it says in Deuteronomy, and distressed them and killed them, even of the southern kingdom. They had war with the southern kingdom. Southern kingdom destroyed Judah. And what happened was that the southern kingdom wanted to take them into captivity, but a prophet of the Most High stopped them and said, "Listen, this is your brothers. How is it you're going to add sin to sin by enslaving your own brothers because it's Judah and Israel and the and the southern Kislaki, the southern kingdom lost to the northern kingdom in battle. So what did this his son King Ahaz did? He sent a letter to the kings of Assyria for help, and this is what happened. This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 16. And at that time did King Ahaz send a send unto the kings of Assyria to help him. Verse 17. For the Edomites did come and smitten Judah and carried them and carried away captives, meaning the Edomites enslaved went to battle with us and carried us away captive. And verse 18, the Philistines also had invaded cities of the low country and of the south of Judah, and had taken Beth Shemesh and El Ajalon and Gederoth and Shoko with the villages thereof, and Tamar with the villages thereof, and Giz, Gimzo also with the villages thereof, and they dwelt there. Verse 19. And the Lord brought Judah low, because Ahaz, the king of Israel, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the most against the Lord. So this king, so the Most High God had to basically almost wipe out, not wipe out, but hurt the kingdom of Judah extremely bad because of this king that worshiped false gods. And he did not keep the commandments. He did not obey what the prophet said. He did not do whatever he did as the heathen. Verse 20. And Tilgath, Pil, Pil, Pilneser, Pileneser, the king of Assyria, came unto him. This is when he sent for help. Came unto him and distressed him. So he sent for help, and the Assyrians came for to help him, but they distressed him, but strengthened him not. So he sent for help, but they didn't come to help him. They came to even rob him more and destroy him more. Because guess what? The Lord sent these enemies against him. Verse 22. 21. For Ahaz took away the house of the Lord and out of the house of the king and, and of the princes and gave it unto the king of Assyria, but he helped him not. So Ahaz gave all this gold and portions and riches to the kings of Assyria, but they did not help him. Right? Verse 22. Verse 22. And in the same and in the time of distress did he trespass yet more against the Lord. This is as that King Ahaz, verse 23, for he sacrificed unto gods of Damascus. Instead of the Lord is kicking your butt, the Edomites is taking you captive. You just lost a battle against the northern king. The Philistines is invading the south low countries and the villages thereof. The Assyrians are also distressing you even more when you send for help. And guess what he did? He went to go worship the gods of Damascus, which is the god of the Assyrians. For he sacrificed unto the gods of the Damascus, which smote him, right? And he said, the king said, because the gods of the kings of Syria helped them, therefore will I sacrifice to them that they help me. But they were sluggish. But they were sluggish. But they were the ruin of him and of all Israel. That was a precept to them. That would Slakia, if I could, to the gods of stone and wood. That we seek, just like this king, the Syrians destroyed him. He had the example of his father and of King David and of Joshua. He had the example, but he chose to worship the gods of the Assyrians that destroyed him. And guess what? It was the ruin of him and all Israel. And just like today, we worship the gods of our oppressor with the hope that their gods will give us salvation. Salaki. Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Hey, Shalom Pashai. Verse 65. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall thy soul of thy foot have rest, but the Lord thy God shall give thee a trembling of heart and a failing of eyes and of sorrow of mind. Hey, Shalom, warrior. For the Salakia, for the next I think for the next 7 days uh, the ISUPK Florida channel is not working, so it will probably go on the Orlando Fort Myers ISUPK Facebook Florida ISUPK Florida on Facebook, but the YouTube won't be active for a week. And that is us, because in this kingdom we are praying to their gods with the hope that their gods gives us salvation. And like it said in the book of Chronicles, it was to the king's ruin and to the all of Israel. And that is what we as men and women of the nation of Israel should understand, that our individual actions in disobeying the Most High could and can affect your brother or sister. That's why it is so important to keep this law and to have brotherhood, because of things like this that happened in the past to us. That king did not have brotherhood, because if he had brotherhood, he would have humbled himself and followed the law, statutes, and commandments. He would have done what the prophets had said, but he did not have brotherhood. And guess what? He sacrificed to the gods of the Assyrians. And the Most High God said it is to his ruin and the nation of Israel. And guess what? Back then, in the time of that king, the nation of Israel did not have rest. The scripture says that we don't have rest here. And guess what? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you don't have rest. Let me grab it's in the book of Baruch, chapter 2. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye move but because ye move God to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies. Verse 7, for ye provoked him that ye made you to sacrifice. Salakia. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. Meaning, the Lord punished us, right? Not for us to be destroyed. Not for us to be. It was never, it is not his intention for us to not exist as a nation. But he is doing this so that we could come back to him. Like any normal father, what father would reward a disobedient child? And all these things that has happened to us, because a lot of people will say, but why does God do these things to us? Why did these things happen, even with not having the knowledge of the Bible in the ISUPK? People would ask, why is this things happening to us? It is because the Lord, he did not sold us. He did not sold us to the nation, not for our destruction, but because we moved God to wrath, he delivered us unto the enemies. It's because we disobeyed him. He did not do it because he wanted to be funny, but because we disobeyed him. Guess what? We had to suffer for it. Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And that's how we came to these lands. That's how we came to the Americas. That's how we came to the Caribbean. That's how we came to Cape Town, South Africa. The Lord, and And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The word Egypt means bondage, and the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again with ships. By the way, Slakia, by the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it never again. We are not gonna see our homeland again. And guess what? When they took off the when we became so-called free in the 1800s, we never returned unto our own homeland as a nation, as a people. Individuals might have done it, but as a people, we have not been able to go back. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy thee. And that is the tragic thing. Even though a Christian might read and say, this does sound like us. This does sound like us. But he would never, when you read enemy, he would never identify our oppressor that is our enemy. He would rather look at what? The brother standing on a corner. Because guess what? In the Christian church, there is no brotherhood. The only place where you're going to find brotherhood is in the ISUPK. And we as a nation should recognize that we weren't sold unto our friends. We weren't sold unto our brothers. But guess what? We were sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And nobody has redeemed us ever since. And a lot of people has been asking, like, what do you mean we have not been redeemed? Because we are free. Because we have not been redeemed. We and when you are redeemed, meaning what was taken has been restored, and we have not been restored. We have not. We have not. We did not, as a nation, get our language back. We did not get, as a nation, our identity and culture back. We did not get anything back. We did not even went back to our own homeland. So we have not been redeemed until Christ comes. I would like to get let me get the book of let me get the book of what did I want to get? Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 verse 27. Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 verse 27. All right. This is let's start at verse 28. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a life, Salakia, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. And that is what's been happening here. Like we've been a nation of beggars to our oppressor. Like just like the scripture says, in hunger and in thirst and in want of things, we've been begging him for everything. And how could you beg? Like for the, I cannot understand how could you beg for someone that is unaliving you, and at the same time beg him to give you justice. For it is better to die than to beg. Verse 29. The life of him who dependeth on another man's table is not counted is not to be counted for a life. Meaning, if we depend on our oppressor instead of depending on the Most High, and that is what we have been doing. That's why we're in the voting polls. That's why we are voting for a known criminal with 34 felonies. Because we depend on another man's table. And guess what? He counts your life for nothing. That's why the police unalives us and get free. That's why they pull funding and and they are able to tell you that your brothers, the Issacharites, the Mexicans, are taking your jobs, and that you should hate them instead of they that hate instead of and they would want you to hate your brother, because guess what? We as a nation, we depend of another man's table, and he doesn't count nothing of your life. He does not respect you. Let's go ahead and finishing up this verse. For he polluted himself with another man's meat, but a wise man will so slaki will but a wise man well nurtured will be aware thereof. And that's what we are in the ISUPK. We are a well nurtured man, and we are wise. And guess what? We are aware of our enemies. We are aware that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We are well aware that Christianity makes you hate your own people. Islam makes you hate your own people. We well aware of that. We well aware that you cannot ask justice from the man that is unaliving you. You cannot ask him to give you justice when he's unaliving you. We are well aware. Verse 30. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless. And that is what our leaders are. They are shameless people. And when your leaders are shameless, guess what? They turn your people into shameless people. And that's why our oppressor does anything and everything to us with whatever contribution, great or small, we give to this country. He does not regard it, and he does not value it. Let me just read this again. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the of the shameless. Yes, our so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, they are shameless. Our leaders, they are shameless, and they have also turned our people into a shameless people. But in his belly there shall but in his belly shall a fire burn. Yes, we beg from our oppressor. He gives us whatever we ask for, and guess what? We'll regret it later. Is it not so? We ask certain laws to pass, ask certain laws, and guess what? He uses that laws to oppress you. Because why? We are the children of God. We are the Israelites. And our condition is in this Bible. But in order for us to change this condition, to change these curses, guess what? We have to start following Christ. You have to come into the ISUPK. You have to follow the orders of Commanding General Yohana. That's the only way we're going to get up out of this hell. There is no other way. Let me grab the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18. And I think we're gonna close it from the Proverbs 29 and 18. Oh, it would have been nice to have a reader. Okay. Proverbs 29 and 18. And the oh, book of Proverbs, chapter 28, 29, verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. And that's the thing, like as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as a whole, as a people, we have no vision. We cannot even see a solution to the gang violence in our communities. There is no solution. They don't see a solution because guess what? They don't have no vision. Your Christian preachers and the I almost said Islam church, the Muslim mosque, they have no vision for you. Because if they had vision for you, the state of black people and the state of the nation of Israel would not be what it is today if they had vision. But he that keepeth the law, happy easy. And what does your Christian church say? The law is done away with. And now we sit with this condition. Let's grab the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13, and then we're going to close it off from there. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That is the only reason why you're on this earth. That is your whole duty. Your whole duty is to keep these commandments because that is your duty. That is why we as a people have been placed on this earth. Keep the law. We are the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. And with that, I would like to give a formal salute to the brothers Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatham. Sisters, Shalom, Yahweh Shema Alatham Ba'ashim Yahushai. This is Preaching Officer Shire with the Wednesday Low Class. Shalom.